Singham, are there any precautions an election agent should take on election expenses?
Okay, a number of these things are actually specified in the law. For instance, any expense that's more than 10,000 ringgit has to be supported by either a bill or a receipt. All expenses claims must be received within 14 days of the publication of the election result. All such valid claims must be paid within the next 14 days after the claim was received. They also have to watch out for things like you cannot make payment for conveyance of electors to or from the poll. You cannot pay for rental of a house, land or building, for exhibition of bail, notice and so on. This has been clearly...
A bit of correction on that, Singham. If a candidate were to pay for a particular group of electors for transport, he has to pay for every elector.
Yes. No partial treatment. Yes, correct. So this is the catch. One of the things that people do during campaigning is they provide services for transport. You cannot say, I'm only going to bring people who are going to vote for me. If you provide general transport, say anybody going to the polling center, come join me, whether you're whichever party, that's allowed, I think. Is that right?
Yeah. That brings the question of, can you provide transportation, a car running on polling day?
Yeah, that's the thing. Strictly, if you are doing it for the purpose of encouraging people to vote for you, then in principle that would be wrong. But if you are trying to do a public service by helping people to go to the polling station without regard to what party they are voting for, I don't believe that's an issue.
What about employing more than one election agent?
Oh, okay. This is the wakil calon. He has been appointed by the candidate, so he cannot be appointing another person. But the candidate cannot appoint two wakil calon. He can only appoint one wakil calon
at the time.
At one time. Of course, he can. But if the person quits, he can appoint the second person. The second person quits, he can appoint a third person. But at any one time, he can only have one wakil calon. Similarly, the people who are representing him inside the polling station, at any one time, he can only have one counting agent. He can appoint 3 people as counting agents, but the 2 additional persons cannot be inside the polling station. They must be outside somewhere, and then at the time, they can take over and take the duty so that at any one time, only one person is acting on his behalf.
Are you referring to polling agent or counting agent?
Polling, counting, it doesn't matter. Whatever kind of agent.
And clerks and messengers?
The reasonable number, because you obviously will need more than one. What is a reasonable number is not specified, but what is stated in the law is reasonable number.
There's also a very important person, the enforcement team representative.
Yes, at the time of campaigning, the enforcement team is appointed by the SPR to go around and make sure that none of the parties or candidates are breaching any of the laws. Every candidate is entitled to appoint one person on that enforcement team.
Per team.
For each team to go around to make sure that, because if you don't appoint somebody for the team, then you find your banners being taken down by your competition is not taken down. So make sure you have an enforcement representative on the team.
And how many enforcement representatives can you have for a constituency?
It's up to the election commission to decide what number they want to appoint. When if they have a team, then you can put in the team.
The wakil calon cannot propose more than one team?
We already hit 4 minutes.